Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going to be tackling a topic that's, well, it's a bit of a wild one. We're diving into the world of cryptocurrency, but with a twist, you could say.
Yeah, it's really fascinating how this story touches on. It touches on so many different things.
Yeah.
We've got the world of meme culture,
Yeah.
the unpredictable nature of financial markets, and then the influence of social media, of course.
Right, like it's all connected somehow, and that's what we're going to try to unpack today. So we're diving into a collection of articles about a cryptocurrency called Trump coin, a meme coin launched by, you guessed it, former President Donald Trump.
And the timing of this whole thing couldn't have been more interesting. This Trump coin, it just appeared online 3 days before his inauguration back in January 2025.
It was like January 17th, 2025. Everyone's getting ready for the inauguration, and then bam, this coin just pops up online. No announcement, no fanfare, nothing.
Yeah, a lot of people were skeptical right away. Understandably so.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. People were like, is this a scam? What is going on? It was only later that day that Trump even acknowledged the coin on social media.
And even then, there were so many questions, like the logo for the coin was a cartoon, Trump with his fist raised. And then on the website, they had this disclaimer saying that it wasn't an investment, it had nothing to do with any political campaign, and it wasn't a security.
It's like they were trying so hard to distance themselves from, oh, well, from everything, really.
It was a very curious move, especially given the timing, launching a cryptocurrency just days before going back into the White House. It definitely blurred the lines between personal business and presidential duties.
Totally. And then that same night, Trump goes and promotes this Trump coin at a crypto ball. Can you believe that? Like a crypto ball?
Yeah, the optics of that whole thing were not great.
Not great at all. It really made you wonder how serious he was about keeping his personal financial interests separate from his job as president. But here's the thing. Despite all the skepticism and the controversy, the Trump coin just exploded in value.
It was crazy. The price surged over 300% overnight.
And all of a sudden, it's the 19th most valuable cryptocurrency out there. I mean, we're talking about serious money now.
Yeah, the trading volume reached almost $13 billion in just 48 hours. It was a classic example of how these meme coins can just take off out of nowhere.
It's insane how quickly things can change in the crypto world, right? At one point, the 800 million tokens that were held by these Trump-owned companies, they were potentially worth over $56 billion. Like, think about that for a second.
Yeah, that's more than a lot of countries' GDPs. It's a crazy amount of money. But of course, with these meme coins, it's all very speculative, right? That valuation was based on the peak price, which, as we know, can be incredibly volatile.
Right. And then we can't forget about Melania Trump, right? She launched her own meme coin shortly after called Melania. It was like the whole family was trying to get in on the action.
The launch of Melania definitely added another layer to the concerns about conflicts of interest. It made it seem like they were really trying to leverage the presidency for personal financial gain.
It all started to feel like a reality TV show gone wrong. But what happened when the ethics experts and the government watchdogs started looking into this Trump K coin? I mean, they couldn't just ignore all of this, could they?
Well, let's just say they weren't exactly thrilled.
Right.
We're talking serious concerns about potential violations of the Constitution's emoluments clause and worries that foreign governments might try to buy the coin to gain influence with the president. It was a big mess.
And then there were those whispers about a rook poll, right? Like the whole thing was just a scheme to pump up the price and then cash out, leaving everyone else holding the bag. And that's where these two companies come, NCIC, Digital LLC, and Fight LLC.
Those two companies were both owned by Donald Trump, and they controlled 80% of the Trump P tokens after the initial offering. That level of concentrated ownership definitely raised some red flags. People were starting to wonder who was really profiting from this whole thing. It all seemed a bit shady, to say the least.
It definitely did. But before we jump to conclusions, let's take a closer look at what happened next.
Because this story, it doesn't end there. The Trump A coin took a pretty dramatic turn, and the consequences were felt in both the crypto world and the political landscape.
Okay, so we've got this meme coin launched by a former president, right? And the price is going crazy and everyone's talking about it. But then all this controversy starts brewing. Did the Trump coin just keep defying gravity, or what happened?
Well, remember those concerns about a rug pull? Where the creators pump up the price and then cash out, leaving everyone else holding worthless tokens?
Right.
Well, it turns out those concerns weren't so far-fetched. By early February 2025, the Trump coin had completely crashed. The value just plummeted.
Wow, so it was like Icarus flying too close to the sun, up in flames.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But here's where things get even more interesting, and maybe a little shady. The New York Times did a forensic analysis of the whole thing, and their findings were pretty shocking.
Oh, what did they find?
Well, they estimated that everyday investors, people like you and me, they lost about $2 billion trading the Trump bill.
Few $1 billion.
Yeah. But get this, while all these investors were losing their shirts, the companies linked to Trump, they profited about $100 million from trading fees. For every dollar they made, investors lost 20. It's a pretty stark illustration of how volatile these meme coins can be and how some people can get really rich while others get burned.
That's just wild. It really leaves a bad taste in your mouth, you know? It feels like regular people got taken advantage of.
Yeah, a lot of people felt that way. The price drop and the whole rug pull situation just added fuel to the fire of those ethical concerns we talked about earlier.
Right. Like, were there any consequences for all of this? Did anyone face any charges?
So there were calls for investigations into potential insider trading and market manipulation. And some members of Congress even demanded a full inquiry into Trump's involvement with the coin.
Did anything come of those investigations?
Well, it's important to note that no formal charges were ever filed against Trump or his companies. And Trump himself, he always denied any wrongdoing. But even though there weren't any legal repercussions, the damage was done. This whole saga cast a shadow over his second term as president. It eroded public trust and just made the whole situation even messier.
It definitely seems like a missed opportunity to do things the right way, to bring some transparency and legitimacy to the world of crypto.
Absolutely. It really raised questions about accountability and transparency in the crypto market and in government. And it showed how blurry the lines can get between personal gain and public service.
Yeah, it makes you think about the bigger picture here. Like, what did this whole experience do to the crypto world in general? Did it scare people away from meme coins, or did it actually legitimize them in some way?
That's the big question, isn't it? On the one hand, the Trump coin showed just how powerful these meme coins can be. I mean, it generated massive wealth, even if it was short-lived.
You know, I bet a lot of celebrities and influencers were watching this whole thing unfold thinking, hey, I could do that too.
Oh, I'm sure they were.
It's like a whole new playbook for how to leverage your fame in the digital age.
But on the other hand, the crash and the ethical concerns surrounding the coin served as a cautionary tale. It showed just how risky these meme-driven investments can be. You know, they're often driven by hype and social media buzz rather than any real underlying value.
It's like a reminder that things aren't always what they seem online, and that even if something looks like a sure thing, it could all come crashing down in an instant.
Exactly. The Trent's PM coin showed that the line between innovation and exploitation can be very thin, especially when you have powerful people involved.
It's a good reminder to always do your research before investing in anything, especially in the crypto world.
Absolutely. And I think this whole saga really forced regulators and policymakers to take notice. They realized that they needed to come up with clearer guidelines and stricter regulations to protect investors in the crypto market.
Right, because this isn't just about meme coins anymore. This is about the future of finance.
Exactly. And it's not just about the financial side of things either. The Trump coin sparked a much broader conversation about the role of social media in shaping financial markets and how misinformation and hype can influence investment decisions.
It made people realize that a single tweet or a viral trend can have a huge impact on the markets.
And that's a really important conversation to be having, especially as we move further into this world of digital currencies and decentralized finance. We need to be thinking critically about the information we're consuming and how it's shaping our financial decisions.
So we've talked about the rise and fall of the Trump coin, the ethical concerns, the financial fallout, and the broader impact on the crypto market. But what about Trump himself? Did this whole experience hurt his reputation, or did he just kind of shrug it off and move on?
That's a great question. And it leads us perfectly into the final part of our deep dive. We'll take a look at the political consequences for Trump and explore the lasting legacy of the Trump coin, both for his career and for the future of cryptocurrency.
It's crazy to think that we started this deep dive talking about a meme coin, and now we're talking about the future of finance and the role of social media in our lives. It's wild how all these things are connected.
It really is. It shows how complex this whole world of cryptocurrency is and how it's intertwined with so many other aspects of our society. But before we get too philosophical, let's circle back to Trump. What happened to him after all of this went down?
Right. We left off talking about how the Trump coin kind of blew up in his face. But did it actually hurt him politically? Or did he manage to escape unscathed?
Well, it's pretty remarkable how Trump seemed to weather this storm. I mean, despite all the criticism and the calls for investigations, his core supporters never wavered.
It's like the controversy just reinforced their belief that he's the savvy businessman who knows how to play the game.
Yeah, and the media attention, even though a lot of it was negative, it kept him in the spotlight.
Yeah.
And he's really good at controlling the narrative. He just dismissed all the criticism as politically motivated attacks and insisted that he did nothing wrong.
And let's be honest, he's pretty good at deflecting blame and turning things to his advantage. He's a master of spin.
That's for sure. So while the whole Trent Molke coin saga might have tarnished his reputation among some people, it didn't really affect his overall political standing. He was still able to hold rallies, give speeches, and exert his influence.
It's kind of like the coin itself became a symbol of Trump in a way. Controversial, unpredictable, but ultimately resilient.
Yeah, I think there's some truth to that. And it also highlights how divided our country is and how difficult it can be to hold powerful people accountable, especially in this age of information overload and partisan media.
It's a lot to think about. So,
Yeah.
okay, we've covered a lot of ground here. We talked about the rise and fall of the Trump mark, the ethical concerns, the impact on the crypto market, and the political fallout. What are the big takeaways from all of this? What have we learned?
I think one of the biggest lessons is that the world of cryptocurrency is still very much the Wild West. It's unregulated, unpredictable, and there are a lot of opportunities for scams and manipulation.
Right. It's exciting and potentially lucrative, but also incredibly risky.
Exactly. And I think the turn of Bitcoin also underscores the importance of ethical leadership and transparency, especially when you're dealing with emerging technologies that have the potential to disrupt entire industries.
Power comes with responsibility. And when that responsibility is abused, it can have far-reaching consequences.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And finally, I think this whole story is a reminder that we need to be critical thinkers. We can't just believe everything we see online. We need to do our own research, ask questions, and be skeptical of get-rich-quick schemes.
Especially in the world of crypto where things can change so quickly, it's easy to get caught up in the hype and make impulsive decisions.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I'll leave you with one final thought-provoking question. Did the Memecoin legitimize meme coins by showing their potential for huge gains? Or did it damage the credibility of the entire crypto market by exposing its vulnerabilities and ethical pitfalls?
It's a question that will probably continue to be debated for years to come. But one thing's for sure, this whole saga has been a wild ride, and it's given us a lot to think about as we navigate this ever-evolving world of cryptocurrency. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. We'll see you next time.